Today's video looks at two distinct cases of corrupt police officers who ended up at the mercy of a judge in a courtroom. And things ended up pretty badly for them. While this cop got the karma he deserved, this next police officer did something far worse.
Get your fucking hands up! Get your fucking hands up! That's what he's treating. That's how he's treating a stranded citizen.
On October 19th, 2015, musician Cory Jones was waiting on the side of the road for roadside assistance in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, after his truck broke down. That's when an officer, who was working in plain clothes, approached him, and what happened next would have tragic consequences.
All this because Cory Jones, undeniably a black man, was on the side of the road waiting for a tow truck. Now, that's not accurate. It's not because Cory Jones was sitting there waiting for a tow truck. It's because that defendant right there chose to refuse to act like any reasonable law enforcement officer approaching a stranded citizen in help. That is why Cory Jones died that evening. He recklessly created a situation which could only be expected to result in somebody being seriously injured or killed. And all the evidence is going to show three things at the end of this trial. It's going to show that that defendant shot and killed Cory Jones. It's going to show that he at no time acted like a law enforcement officer. It's going to show that he is guilty as charged of manslaughter and attempted first-degree murder with a firearm.
3 gunshots ended Cory Jones's life within moments. Despite being on an undercover assignment, Officer Newman Raja had no legitimate reason to confront the stranded musician, making the tragic encounter all the more devastating.
Cory Jones was doing nothing except waiting for help on the side of the road because his SUV broke down. And one of the few people that should have unquestionably been there to assist him on the side of that road did exactly the opposite. Instead of being Cory Jones's saving grace, he was his angel of death. The evidence will show that there's no way Cory Jones knew, even at the time that he was running, fleeing from the back of his vehicle, running into the dark, seeking cover, laying there on the ground, dying, breathing his last breath. No way that he knew that the person that actually shot and killed him was a law enforcement officer. But see, unfortunately for Cory Jones, his bad luck was turning much worse. Because unknown to him, that defendant was on duty. See, he was a police officer at that time in Palm Beach Gardens Police Department. He was working in detail, a plain clothes detail, where he was supposed to surveil neighborhoods, looking for car burglars. And if he saw anything, he's supposed to call up marked units to come and take care of the issue.
It was later revealed that Raja never identified himself as a police officer or displayed his badge to Cory Jones, believing he was confronting an armed stranger rather than law enforcement. Jones never knew the man who shot him was a police officer sworn to protect the public.
He goes up the wrong way. He cuts right in front of Cory Jones's SUVs as it's parked. He positions himself diagonally front end to front end of Cory Jones's vehicle with their bumpers mere feet apart in an unmarked van with zero indication whatsoever that he's a law enforcement officer at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday turning to Sunday. That's what he chose to do. He runs around the front of that van and immediately becomes confrontational with Cory Jones. Now, Cory Jones, he's got an expensive junket. He goes into not the nicest parts of Delray Beach for his job. So he did what any lawful American can do. He purchased a firearm. He didn't even pull out the badge, which was in his wallet, in his back pocket, to show to Cory Jones. Much less put on that vest that said police, or even have his radio or his gun. There's nothing but an overly aggressive and immediately hostile attitude. You hear it for yourselves. You make the decision. You're the judges of credibility of everybody, including his. because you will hear from him.
Raja later claimed that he had identified himself as a police officer and that Corey had tried to attack him. However, a phone call Corey made during the encounter captured the exchange, and the recording became crucial evidence, indicating that Raja never identified himself as law enforcement and undermining his account of the shooting.
Yeah, I'm good. Really? That's what he's saying. That's not how an officer talks to a citizen at 3 o'clock in the morning on the side of the road. But that's how he spoke to what he saw with Cory Jones on the side of that road. And when Cory Jones laughs and says, yeah, now he starts saying even more hostile. Get your fucking hands up. Get your fucking hands up. That's what he's treating. That's how he's treating a stranded citizen. Immediately within seconds, that's what he's saying. Hey, profane words being shouted at a time when a guy is sitting with a broken down car.
The attorney dismantled Raja's defense, highlighting his utter disregard for the victim and portraying the shooting as a deliberate and unjustified killing.
Once again, get your effing hands up. Drop. 3 shots. Corey's running away. He's already retreating behind his vehicle. His weapon shows 3 shots. He chose to fire on that gun. This is when he acted. He made a decision to shoot first and ask questions later. That was his decision. But see, this isn't the end of the story. Because now Cory Jones is running for his life. He is running for the cover of darkness. He's thrown down the gun already that he had in his hand that was meant to protect him. And you got 10 seconds. Because he is shooting. No, he can't shoot. But you got 10 seconds. That doesn't sound like a long time. But when you sit there, you look at that clock, and you hear those seconds tick away. And you consider that Cory Jones is running for his life after being shot at on the side of the road. That's forever. 10 seconds between the 3rd and the 4th shot.
The case became another flashpoint in the debate over officer safety, with critics arguing that the phrase is too often used to justify controversial actions that end in tragedy.
He fired those last 3 shots at 1 second intervals each. Control. Boom. 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 Not fast, but control. Before getting medical assistance for Cory Jones, before getting much needed assistance, if he was truly in fear of his life, well, he needs to call a coward. 30 seconds. Manslaughter means Cory Jones is dead and is find the culpable negligence or act of that defendant. And he's going to explain to you, the judge will tell you what culpable negligence means. He's going to say it means a course of conduct showing a reckless disregard for human life or the safety of other persons exposed to its dangerous effects of conscious indifference to the consequence.
Finally, after the prosecutor delivered a powerful and emotional closing argument, the jury reached its verdict. Although the case involved more than 3,000 pages of evidence, it was the prosecutor's compelling summary that tied it all together and left a lasting impression on the jury.
We, the jury, find as follows. As to count 1, we find the defendant guilty of manslaughter while armed with a firearm as charged in the information. As to count 2, we find the defendant guilty of attempted first-degree murder as charged in the information. If you find the defendant guilty of attempted first-degree murder, you must next answer the following questions. Did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant actually possessed the firearm? Yes. Did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant actually discharged the firearm? Yes. Did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant in discharging the firearm actually caused great bodily harm or death to Cory L. Jones?
And watch as the judge finally delivered the sentence.
On count 1, I hereby sentence him to 25 years in the Department of Corrections. And on count 2, I hereby sentence Mr. Raja to 25 years in the Department of Corrections. That is as a minimum mandatory, which was required that he serve day for day. Those sentences will run concurrently.
Raja was sentenced to 25 years in prison, where he is currently serving his sentence. Corey Jones's family also filed a civil lawsuit against the city, which resulted in a $2 million settlement. The case stands as a stark reminder of how a single unlawful decision can not only end a life, but also destroy an officer's career and leave a lasting financial and reputational impact on an entire police department and city. Next up, watch how this corrupt police officer was owned by this fierce judge.
They told me that the judge don't make the rules here. That was the quote that they...
Who told you that? Oh, hold on. Mr. Flanagan, call Mr. Farmer right now. Call him right now.
An individual named Jalen Lee was on probation and had already paid over $30,000 in fines. Despite the weight of his past, he remained committed to turning his life around. But during his probation officer went against what the court ordered.
According to probation, your discharge date is May the 2nd. You were placed on a 12-month probationary period, and I placed you on probation on, May 2nd of this year, 24. So this is your first review. This is the halfway point. However, you're not quite finished. So this says that you did pay the restitution in full. This says the restitution of $30,000 was paid in full. You completed the theft awareness class. You have done some. You did choices.
Yes, ma'am.
Through eBay, and then you've completed 8 of the 10 gamblers counseling. Well, let's see.
Nope.
She's saying 2 different things. How many gamblers counseling is left?
I finished all 10.
Oh, you did?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
His remarkable progress left the courtroom stunned when he appeared for his hearing. Even the judge couldn't help but acknowledge how far Jalen had come, clearly impressed by his transformation.
So let's do this. How long do you think it'll take for you to complete or pay the 510?
I started a new job within 2 days. So my first paycheck within basically 2 weeks, I'll be able to pay it.
You gonna give us all your money? I don't know how much check is. Don't give me saying it's all your money. I mean,
it's literally been all my money. So.
Right. But I can give you a couple of months if you want a couple of extra months. I can give you a couple of months.
I mean, yeah, that will work better. Absolutely. Whichever one works.
All right. I mean, 'cause today is just the halfway point. So you're not technically scheduled to be discharged from probation. The 12 months, you're not scheduled until May 2nd. I could give you a date in late January if that'll be better for you.
It appeared the probation officers were unwilling to acknowledge Jalen's transformation, seemingly determined to hold him accountable for his past rather than recognize the progress he had made. Despite his efforts to rebuild his life, they seemed intent on keeping him trapped within the system.
All right, and also if he completes it, so let me give a date. I'll give a date first, and then if he completes it and pays the money, you could send an email to Mr. Flanagan, and I can discharge him without you coming.
Okay, that sounds great.
All right, so I'll put it on the docket for let's put it on the docket for February 3rd, that first Monday in February. I'll put it on the docket for February 3rd. And then that way we could confirm with Ms. Collins that you've completed those classes or the counseling, and then you can pay the $510. If you've done so, counsel, you can just submit an email and I can confirm it with the probation, and then I can discharge him without appearance. So we'll put it on the docket for a discharge.
Okay.
Judge Lanice recognized Jalen's hard work and progress, offering words of encouragement and appreciation. However, just when it seemed like the hearing was heading in his favor, the next moment left Jalen completely stunned.
Ms. Bryant, so up until this point, I'm still expected to check in regularly and do the normal probation process until January.
What do you mean by that? Tell me what do you do? What's the normal probation process?
Well, because originally they were telling me that once I came into this review, I could have the potential to be discharged from the probation since I had did all the classes and everything like that.
So here,
right now,
I'm gonna interrupt you, Mr. Lee. You're on a non-reporting probation anyway. So if they've had you reporting monthly, you didn't have to do that.
I said that originally, but they told me that the judge don't make the rules here. That was the quote that they.
Who told you that? Oh, hold on. Mr. Flanagan, call Mr. Farmer right now. Call him right now. Woo.
Yes.
It's going to be a great day. Call him right now. I need you to tell us who told you that. Call them right now. Matter of fact, you can call Mr. Wade too. Call them right now. Because I'm about to. Yes. I like you, Mr. Lee. I like you. You didn't even mean to tell on them, but you did.
Yeah, I didn't. It's Miss Bryson. She's no longer there anymore.
The probation officer openly challenged Judge Lannis's authority, pushing back against her decisions in a way that appeared both unprofessional and highly unusual. The courtroom tension quickly escalated as the officer seemed unwilling to accept the judge's ruling.
Let me make sure they have a meeting with probation while you on here. Let's make sure they have a meeting with the probation, because if I ever hear somebody say that again, I'm gonna hold them in contempt.
Understood.
Yeah, but we gonna do this right now. Oh, I'm so excited. This turned out to be a great Tuesday. But you did not have to report, Mr. Lee. You were not supposed to be reporting on a monthly basis. And we getting ready to nip that in the bud right now. I'm so excited for my future and yours. So to answer your question, you do not have to report. Now, what you have to do is let us know when you finish those classes, the counseling. So you can in fact have them send it to Mr. Flanagan. But I want you to stay on here so Mr. Farmer can hear it from you. I'm gonna tell him what you said, and then I'm gonna ask you, did you say that in front of the supervisor, so we can make sure that no other probation officer ever tells anybody else that I don't make the rules. I am the rule.
I just was nervous. I didn't want to get violated. I was just trying to follow the rules.
You said Mr. Farmer is logging in right now?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's not logging in. He must not have been at his computer. And it is correct that Miss Bryson is no longer with. That could be a reason, part of the reason she's not here, because she thought the judge didn't make the rules. I don't know why she's not here anymore.
Yeah.
So, Your Honor, my understanding is that the requirements of Mr. Lee are that he complete the payment of $510 and provide proof that he's completed the Gamblers Counseling classes.
Right, and then I'm going to discharge him without him ever having to go see probation again. See how that works? Because I do make the rules, Mr. Lee.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm just going to have to let him see the tape, because I'm not going to hold you here. He didn't log right in. And so I'm not going to hold you, but you don't have to report to them. So I did notice on the Register of Action there was a report day. Oh, maybe you just had a report day.
To make matters worse, Judge Lannis felt compelled to apologize on behalf of the probation officer's actions. A rare and powerful moment that highlighted just how troubling the situation had become.
Yeah, I had one the other day. That it's been monthly, and then I'll go do the drug screen as well. Every
drug
month.
Screen?
They've been having me do a drug screen. I was like, I don't even smoke, or my case had nothing to do with anything, drug related, but I've been doing a drug screen every month.
Mr. Lee, let me apologize on behalf of the court. And I'm thankful that Miss Bryson no longer works here, because she might have got fired today.
Understood.
So you do not have to drug test. My order specifically says no urinalysis was ordered. And so what I'm going to do is refund you any money that you have paid for your drug screens. So where were you testing?
The judge refused to let the matter end there. She ordered the supervisor to join the meeting, making it clear that the probation officer's conduct would be addressed and not simply brushed aside.
Mr. Lee used to be supervised by someone who no longer works here. So that's good, because they might have got fired today. if they still worked here. Miss Bryson. Miss Bryson told Mr. Lee, who she made report to probation every month, that I don't make the rules. He told her it's a non-reporting probation. Miss Bryson told him the judge don't make the rules, we make the rules. Not only did she have him reporting to probation, she has had this man drug screening every month when my order specifically says no urinalysis ordered. What I called you on here for is because she no longer works here. In your next meeting, just make sure nobody ever tells one of my probationers that, because that might get them held in contempt of court, because that doesn't even make sense.
The judge stood firmly in Jalen's corner, making sure his progress and dedication to rebuilding his life were fully acknowledged. Her actions sent a powerful message that genuine rehabilitation deserved to be recognized and respected.
Mr. Lee said he tested at the court 4 times, and you tested in Bloomfield 2 times?
Yeah, Rochester Hills, yeah.
Oh, Rochester Hills. So, Mr. Flanagan, what I am going to do is deduct, I'm just going to give him $150 credit for his inconvenience and his time. And then that will leave him a balance. Instead of the $510, your balance is $360. I'm telling you this in the presence of Mr. Farmer. You do not have to show up and report to probation, and you do not have to drug test. You only have to pay the balance and finish those 2 classes. Oh no, you said you finished the classes.
Yes, ma'am, I finished them.
Okay, so we just need proof of the counseling.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Farmer, you gonna take care of that for me?
Judge Linus did not shy away from confronting the misconduct. She made sure the supervisor was fully informed of the officer's actions, ensuring the matter was taken seriously, and that the officer faced accountability for his behavior. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Today, we saw cases where corrupt and evil police officers were owned in court and taken to the cleaners by these stern and competent judges who surely taught them that justice will get to them eventually.